Why are you so tense, god damn it?
Because I don't know what I'm doing!
Hello, everybody. It's Wednesday. It's Philly Kuts. It's new comic book release day, and we have a nice, healthy stack of comics to get you through your week. These are my picks. These are the comics that I read during the week that I look forward to buying. And this week we have a ton of new independents that I'm very, very excited about. Excuse me. The first one being from Dark Horse Comics, Hellboy and the B.P.R.D. 1952. Now, this series is going to be a reoccurring mini-series, meaning they're going to show each year, okay? It starts with 1952, which is the first year that Hellboy joined B.P.R.D., okay? It's going to be 5 issues, 1952. Enter 2015, 5 issues, 1953, and so on. I don't know if they're going to try to release, maybe 54 in 2015 as well. We don't know. They just gave a little indication of that in the back of this book here. But check out that cover, baby. That is just classic Hellboy. This is a young Hellboy, because you got to remember that he was discovered by Bruttenholm, or whatever the doctor's name is, that found him in the early 40s during World War II. So this is a very, very young Hellboy. I presume he's going to be very, very rambunctious, hard to handle, and I'm just so excited to see these early days of Hellboy B.P.R.D. So it's not a reboot, because in the regular Hellboy series, there's been a huge gap with Hellboy's early years. So we really, have been missing out on a lot of stories in his early years. So I'm just really, really excited. This came out just today. Dark Horse Comics. I can't wait. And it's got the full all-star staff of Mike Mignola, John Arcudi doing the writing, Alex Maleev doing the writing, doing the panels, the artwork, and then the incomparable Dave Stewart doing the coloring. And as you can see, this is Hellboy saying, "My first assignment?" He's ready. Here he is in bed smoking a stogie. So I can't wait. All right, another great independent title by Joshua Williamson, who's the writer. This guy's hitting stuff out of the ballpark nonstop. He also writes Ghosted, Nailbiter. He's also doing work on the Fire and Stone series, the Predator segment of the Fire and Stone series, Dark Horse Comics. This is Birthright, issue number 3. Real exciting issue. I leafed through it. It looks like there's a big, big stand down and face off against the police. And we learn more about what happened to Mikey. Mikey was a young little kid when he disappeared. He came back as freaking Conan the Barbarian. He went into some temporal time loop, some new dimension. He was only gone for 1 Earth year, apparently. But he came back a hulking brute. Lost as like a 7-year-old boy or something. I don't remember the exact age. Again, comes back as a hulking brute. And you just learn a lot more in this issue. There's Mikey now as a warrior. High fantasy, if you will. We learn a lot more about what happened to Mikey when he was on missing. There he is. Visited by some cherubic angel kids. All right. Onwards. Tooth and Claw number 2, but wait a minute, it's no longer called Tooth and Claw. It has to be called the Autumnlands Tooth and Claw number 2. Apparently there was some kind of copyright dispute, and Tooth and Claw by itself must have been taken by someone else under a copyright. So Image Comics, they had to go ahead and switch the title to the Autumnlands Tooth and Claw. And this is an awesome variant Alex Ross cover. And look at how detailed these anthropomorphic animals are. That's Spud McKenzie flexing a bicep there. We got a cool animal. Sweet grizzly bear. Looks like a tiger up there in the front. Just an awesome, awesome cover. And it really heats up in this book. In the first book, you had a group of wizards. They kind of got together. They formed a circle, did a summoning spell to resurrect someone known as the Great Champion, a god known as the Great Champion. Problem is, they resurrected this god. Shit went to hell. Their world freaking crumbled. This issue, it seems like there's some new enemies that they gotta fight. This guy with the giant horse thing there. Yeah, I hope I don't get censored there. But lots of battling between bison creatures and other anthropomorphic animals. And if you got a thing against cats, man, I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. I know that lots of dog lovers there can't stand cats. Goodbye, anthropomorphic cat. Yeah. Check it out. Excellent, excellent book. I really enjoyed the first one. The world is really, really fleshed out. And I can't wait to see how this goes in the conflict. And this is definitely in the running for cover of the week. I'll tell you that. Vertigo, subsidiary of DC Comics. Wolf Moon. This is kind of a classic werewolf kind of story. More about a guy that went on a hunting party, gets attacked by a werewolf, and then I guess the rest of the book and the rest of this 6-part miniseries is going to be this guy hunting down the werewolf, and it really tells the story from that perspective. And you really get lots of cool shots of the werewolf. He's pretty devastating, almost on par with The Wolf and the Apostle. That was put out by Dark Horse last month. But really, really viciousness here. And I can't wait, man. On these cold, cold winter nights, I love nothing more than to be curled up in my bed, man. Being scared out of my mind, reading about scary werewolf creatures. And there's never really been too many great werewolf stories, but I from what I hear, this is pretty promising. Pretty promising, and I'm probably going to stick with it. And next month, I'm going to have a feature. Next week, I'm going to have a feature in this comic book haul series of, the chopping block, and it's going to be basically issues or books that I started reading that I'm no longer going to read because they didn't make the cut. All right, Alien vs. Predator, number 3. 4 issues in this segment. Again, for the 1900th million times, this is a Fire and Stone story arc. It is 16 issues over 4 different titles. Alien vs. Predator, Alien, Predator, and Prometheus. I gotta say that the Alien vs. Predator story arc is probably one of my least favorite. I'm really feeling more of the Predator story arc, which is written by Joshua Williamson, so can you blame me there? And also the Prometheus story arc. This one, though, it really seems to heat up. There's this substance in the book known as an accelerant, and it basically is causing all kinds of these distortions and mutations amongst whatever species comes into contact, even synthetics. And this character here is named Eldon. He's a synthetic, and he looks like to be mutating quite similarly in some regards into an alien. As you can see, his arms look very alienish. You also see what happens when Eldon gets into contact with some aliens in this book. Does he get introduced into the hive, or does he get ripped to shreds? I'm not going to tell you guys what happens. But one of the big things, too, in this story as well is that a predator gets hold of some of this accelerant, and basically he turns all sorts of fucked up. I'm going to show you a brief picture of him. There he is right there. And he looks kind of reminiscent in a way. You know, he's very hulking, very hulkish, but he looks very reminiscent in the way, if you're familiar with Alien Resurrection, at the end of that movie, an Alien Resurrection, where there was that white alien that got all mutated, and it was big and hulking, and it was like a baby. And it was just great. I think that Alien Resurrection, out of all the Alien movies, was probably the most underrated. And it's one of my favorite movies of that series. All right, those technical difficulties, like my webcam broke down. So, like I was saying, Alien versus Predator. Pick it up. And if you never saw Alien Resurrection, go watch the movie. It was pretty cool. Probably the most underrated Alien movie ever. Okay, on to the DC titles. I have 2 DC titles. We have Batman Eternal, number 35. Apparently this is the start of the 3rd act of the series. There's a cool action shot of the Batmobile flying. Batman having to eject. Basically, in the last issue, we learned that Hush was not the mastermind behind Batman's woes. Apparently, in the last issue, Hush, was detonating Batman's weapon caches throughout the city, causing a lot of unrest, causing a lot of police heat on Batman. Batman was in a whole heap of trouble, so much so that the federal government actually came in and seized all of Wayne Industries' assets, because I guess Wayne Industries controlled Batman's weapon caches. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't connect that to him being Batman. I don't know. I'm confused myself. But apparently, Wayne Industries is no more. Wayne Manor has been seized. Everything has been seized. So Batman is in a world of hurt. They still don't know where the Batman cave is, because in this issue, as you can see, Hush is a prisoner in the Batcave. Oh, yeah. He's a prisoner in the Batcave. So I guess in this issue, it's very dialogue heavy, mind you. Not very heavy on the action, it seems. But hopefully we find out a little bit more of who is pulling the strings behind Hush. All right, and finally, Detective Comics number 37. This is a special Darwin Cook variant cover. And look at that. You got to turn it sideways. And this is such an awesome cover. I love this cover. And it's basically Alfred putting Batman to bed in his lazy chair. Tucking him in, folks. That's just a great picture. There's his touchpad right there. His iPad Touch. And such a cool cover. And I tell you, man, Detective Comics has been really, or DC Comics has been really hitting the covers out of the ballpark. Basically, this is a new storyline with Anarchy. Anarchy is a villain who was first introduced, I guess, in the Batman universe back in 1989. I don't know if we find out in this issue what exactly Anarchy wants. The issue does start out with a bang. Batman in a nice battle against the Mad Hatter. If you've played Batman video games, you should be familiar with the Mad Hatter, as he's made an appearance in one of those. There's Batman kicking Mad Hatter boot to the face in front of some bums down by the river. And it looks to be a pretty exciting issue. I'm really liking the artwork. And it just looks oh so fine. And I'm wondering who the artist is in this. Because I'm really digging the artwork. I know Francis Manapul did the cover, but it's not saying who did the artwork. I'm presuming it's probably Manapul. Yeah, it's Francis Manapul is the artwork. And it just looks great. Just has a really nice look to it. And pretty extended battle scene between Batman and the Mad Hatter. So pretty cool stuff. So, we come to a conclusion here. And we need to find out. There's another cool Batman picture there. Which gets cover of the week. And for this week, we are going to go with... It's very hard, man, because I'm liking the Hellboy cover. I'm liking the Detective Comics cover. And I'm also liking the Autumn Lands Tooth and Claw cover. So this is a tough one. This is a tough decision. But we got to go with the Alex Ross, the Autumn Lands Tooth and the Claw. And my webcam right now is doing no justice to show the detail of these anthropomorphic animals. of that great doggy flexing his muscle. And it's just a cool, cool cover. Very simple, but cool. Image Comics, people. Alex Ross. Nice earthy brown tones. Spectral. And like I said, I always love the way Image Comics feel. I don't know what they do with the stock on their covers, but they just have a very, very unique feeling to them. Like a matte feeling that the other comics don't have. All right, people. That's been Comic Book Haul number 13. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you're enjoying the series. Peace. Have a good week. Let me know what books you got down below, and let me know what books you may be looking forward to. And if you have any recommendations for books for me, let me know. All right. Peace.
Am I clear? You fuck! God damn it!
No, you're not clear. Dad, you're going to get in an accident. You can't stop here.
I'm all fucked up!